Hi everyone, welcome to Old Man Complains About Games. I mean, the final humble choice of the year. So many games coming out, particularly Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remaster and Indiana Jones, so I've been a bit slow to make this video. With that said, let's look at the 9 games on offer this month. First up, Bomb Rush. It's like a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, complete with skates and tagging. The goal is to become the best graffiti crew while avoiding getting stopped by the police. It feels a bit Saints Row-y in that respect. I was a fan of Jet Set Radio 24 years ago, back in the era of the Dreamcast, but I suspect these days my tastes have either moved on, or the gaming landscape has. If you never played Jet Set Radio or the sequel Jet Set Radio Future, I'd recommend those, but in the absence of those, this is a solid replacement. Next we have a Hex tile turn-based strategy, similar to the Civilization series and other 4X style games. In this you capture land, build industries and locate famous characters to grow in power. I've never really had the focus for 4X strategies, but this one seems to be absolutely solid, and the tutorial contains all the information you need to get started. Atlas Fallen is a third-person action adventure game which reminds me of both Dante's Inferno and Darksiders. You get to tool about riding the sands and beating people with some kind of sentient gauntlet and a bunch of different weapons. It feels very much like Darksiders actually. It's quite fun and apparently has co-op modes, but I didn't check those out, but if the second player doesn't get to play the gauntlet, I'll be disappointed. Crime boss Rockay! Rockay City. When it started up, the art and visual styles made me think it would be sort of a spiritual successor to GTA 5 and keep us busy until GTA 6 eventually arrives. But instead of having any explorable world or story, it actually just seems to be a series of heists, so it's more like the Payday series of games. It's not for me, I'm not really a fan of stealth or multiplayer, but it was very enjoyable though. If you like playing Payday with friends, you can do a lot worse than this game. The Invincible is apparently based on a book, and I'm here for it. I was particularly drawn in by the line on the humble site of "Not everything everywhere is for us." You play an astrobiologist on an unexplored planet looking for lost crewmates. It's an interesting sort of adventure game, apparently with 11 possible endings. I'm enjoying the story and the world, so I'll keep playing. Probably after Indiana Jones. In my notes for Moonstone Island I have 5 words. Card Combat Stardew something something. I didn't really enjoy it, partly because it took far too long to work out the controls and notice the bottom right of the screen was telling me how to actually do things. I'm an idiot. I equipped the scythe and then I was pressing every button but it wasn't working, and it turns out it only works when you're next to the thing that you can reap, and then you press X. When it comes to combat, the cards come out, so overall it's not for me, but if you like Stardew cards and, I don't know, let's say Wish Pokemons, then this is for you. Inkulinati, I hope I said that right, is one of the more unique and interesting games this month. The game is played out on a piece of paper or parchment, and you draw new troops or issue commands, or outright poke enemies to win rounds. It's a nice fun concept and a lovely art style. I wrote Venba bus is coming in my notes and I hate myself for it. This seems to be a tale of cooking and hardship. You play the mother to an immigrant family who tries to connect to a child through the medium of food. I know that would absolutely work on me. The cooking sections are mostly trial and error, but the story is nice. It's a short but enjoyable 1 to 2 hour experience. A particular high point is the absolutely banging soundtrack of Asian music, which is a total love letter to the history of Tamil cinema. And lastly we have Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip. The stylistically delightful Monster Prom 3 manages to combine 3 of my favourite things: multiplayer, visual novels and dating sims. And by favourite, I mean get the off my hard drive. You start with a bunch of stats and go on a road trip, and each destination you lose some stat points and gain other stat points. The objective is to finish without any stats hitting 0, I think. I didn't finish it. So that's it, but one final mention: after release they added a promo for Boot.Dev for 1 month free, so it's worth about £33. Boot.Dev seems to be a more expensive Skillshare, but at £33 a month or £20 a month on the annual plan, you could just use Google and YouTube or buy 1 book per month instead. or Skillshare. They claim to have a captivating, finger-flying, addictive way to code, but as a coder myself, that sounds horrific. If I were to make a developer training site, I would call it Why the Fuck Doesn't It Work? And it would be 90% swearing and contain a list of things that are broken, and probably ads for coffee, any therapy service other than BetterHelp, and pictures of cats to stop you from losing your tiny mind on a daily basis. But a free month will at least let you decide if it's any way relevant to what you want to do. Every dev is different, and if it keeps you interested enough to successfully build a project that you want to make, then £20 per month on an annual plan is not a horrible amount of money. As ever, thanks for putting up with me, and I'll see you on the next video, and hopefully by then this cold will have gone. Stay safe and have a good holiday period and New Year.